Hello and welcome into PB at Night. This is episode 22 for January 27th, 2011, Thursday edition of PB at Night. Of course, we do this show every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And this is Wake Up by Arcade Fire on their album Funeral. If you'd like to check them out, contacted YouTube and they supposedly said that we could play this song. So thank you, YouTube, for responding. Yeah, I'm sure nobody's watching it. But anyhow, great thanks to them. But this is PB at Night, episode 22. Like I said, this is our show where we actually talk about the latest news, some of it being technology-oriented, actually a lot of it being technology-oriented because we are kind of a semi-technology network here at pbcasttv.com, but also a lot of it sports-wise because I'm a big fan of sports, and I like to talk about it, and there's a lot of news revolving around sports. But anyhow, enough from me talking. Let's get on to the news. First of all, today, some breaking news just now. One of the cool things of us doing this, we do this show each and every, or on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Let's see, I think that's 5 Pacific, not quite sure, but anyhow, if you want to, I think I'll probably end up putting a time converter on our website if that would be helpful, so you guys can convert. But I think most of you guys know kind of the conversion, at least in the U.S. But anyhow, our first story of the night, the Memphis Grizzlies, well, y'all can't see that. The Memphis Grizzlies guard O.J. Mayo, former USC star, has been banned for 10 games from the NBA after a positive drug test. This is from Reuters, U.S. Memphis Grizzlies guard O.J. Mayo was suspended for 10 games after testing positive for a banned steroid, the NBA said on Thursday. Mayo, taken with the 3rd overall pick in the 2008 draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves, said in a statement that the positive test was a result of taking an over-the-counter supplement that contained a banned substance, steroid, by the DHEA. Or no, this was the drug was actually DHEA, which is dehydro. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, but anyway, this link will be in the show notes if you guys want it. There, if you can read that, that's that highlighted word there. That is what the substance was, but it's abbreviated DHEA, and that seems to be like the new thing to do with a bunch of NBA players nowadays, which considering that could be true, that he truthfully went to like GNC or some vitamin store or something and got something and he didn't actually know that was a banned substance or whatever. I'm not going to fault you for that because I'm not going to judge you, but that seems to be the most popular thing to do nowadays, is to say, well, I just got it at the drugstore and I didn't realize it was a banned substance. But anyhow, I think they do have a problem with that because one of my friends at school, he's trying to gain some weight for football or whatever, and he takes some of these, things. It's not steroids, but it's like protein powders and things, and it actually says on the bottle, no banned substances in this formula or whatever. So there is a problem with this, and people are trying to stray away from it. So I'm not going to blame him for anything, but it is kind of odd that he, tested positive for a banned steroid, not just a banned substance, and he will be suspended for 10 games. Our next story is actually kind of closer here, and I'm not a huge fan of the Tennessee Titans, but I have followed up on them because they are one of the few teams, actually I guess one of the 4 or 5, well, if you don't count Florida, but one of the couple teams around here, in like 150, 50 to 100 mile radius, that are actually an NFL team, so I always like to support them. But longtime Tennessee Titans head coach Jeff Fisher, it was announced today that he will be stepping down. Actually, the Tennessee Titans and Jeff Fisher have agreed to part ways, and Fisher will no longer be the head coach of the team, said the release just issued by the team. The parting was initially reported by SI.com's Don Banks. Banks reported it's unclear if it will be couched as a firing, a mutual separation, or a resignation. So we really don't know yet. But this actually just broke. I was eating at one of our favorite Mexican restaurants, and they always have the sports, ESPN on, and they were running this, like, I don't know, about an hour ago. So it just broke then. Titans owner Bud Adams sounded every bit of the 86-year-old owner to hear Jim Watt of the Tennessean tweet it before the announcement. Just talked to Titans owner Bud Adams about Jeff Fisher news. Where did you hear that? I better check on it. Can't talk about it now. So anyhow, the gist is Jeff Fisher's out, and he has 1 year remaining on his salary, which the Titans will have to pay about $6 million worth of his salary, unless they can kind of get that down a little bit, but they owe him about $5 or $6 million for the upcoming season. It's going to be interesting to see. This is kind of a later move by the Titans. A lot of these coaching moves usually happen right after the offseason. Actually, I guess the offseason hadn't started, but the offseason for the Titans has long ago started. Of course, the Super Bowl coming up, and not this week, but the next week. We'll talk about that, maybe give my predictions next week, I guess. Next week. I guess that'll be on next Thursday's episode, so if you want to tune in for that, that'll probably be kind of our Super Bowl spotlight show, if you would say that. Another good story I like to see people coming back. Tiger Woods, as you probably know, Tiger Woods got in a really big disagreement with his wife. He was cheating on his wife. He was having extramarital affairs. They later divorced last year. And this has kind of been labeled as Tiger Woods' comeback year. Tiger Woods today, he started with a 69, and he trails the field by only 5 shots, which is pretty decent. He's still in the hunt. And John Daly's also still in the hunt as well. This is a major being held in San Diego, and this is from USA Today's golf news, the PGA news. San Diego, of course, popping off the electric. Wait, what does that say? Yeah, I guess that's supposed to say electric. Is that a typo? Anyhow, electric. No, whatever. Anyway, he is. Let's see. The leader is 5 under par at a 67. Daly 44, who joined near the top of the leaderboard by a pair of 40-somethings. 3-time Farmers winner Phil Mickelson 40. Brandit Job 45. And Mickelson matched Daly 67 with the lowest round in the South. So anyway, Tiger Woods, pretty decent game. Yeah, 69. Pretty decent game of golf. Hopefully he's on his comeback. I kind of miss the days when Tiger Woods was dominating. I don't know why. I guess golf isn't as exciting as it used to be since he's not in it. This was an interesting story. Microsoft actually released their yearly earnings, year-to-date earnings today, and their profits actually fell from last year, but Xbox and Kinect profits were sky high. This is from theguardian.co.uk. Profits at its entertainment and devices division grew 83% last quarter, but revenues were down 30% in the Windows division. Microsoft saw its quarterly operation profits fall by 4%, even though revenues grew 5% to $19.9 billion. It boasted a huge sales in its Xbox 360 game console and Kinect controller. Net profit fell slightly to $6.63 billion from $6.66 billion. So a lot of people are saying, Windows profits are down. One, because, I think Windows 7 has finally breached that place where it's not quite new anymore. We're kind of in year 2, I guess year 2, maybe even year 3. No, I guess year 2 of Windows 7. We're kind of looking forward to Windows 8. I believe they've already started development on that. That's still a way off. That's still kind of voodoo. We're still kind of talking about that. But anyhow, and I think, I think most of the people who are going to upgrade from on their computer to Windows 7 has already done so, or will be doing so, probably has already done so. So really the only Windows sales that are coming now is when people are buying new computers. And I think most of everybody who buys a new computer is when the new Windows operating system comes out, or at least when a stable version of the Windows operating system comes out. I know a lot of people just kind of skipped Vista. I only had one computer running Vista, which is a very, good task by me. Yeah, Vista, that's what Smoothie's saying. That actually made Microsoft lose a ton of market share. Not only, I think Linux grew about 2% in that time period, which is huge for Linux, because now I think Linux desktops are actually up to about 6% of all computer users, which is awesome in my opinion. And also the Mac community, the Apple community, grew a lot on their computing side, their actual desktop computing or laptops or notebooks or whatever you say. But anyway, I think Microsoft is becoming more of a mobile and also gaming platform, which, I really feel if however you can make your money, that's good with me, I know a lot of people who are kind of mad that they're straying away from Windows, but, they're still going to develop Windows as long as there's a market share for it. But honestly, I'm a really big fan of the Kinect. I'm actually going to go film a couple videos, edit a couple videos as soon as I get done with this. About the Kinect, and I'm really happy with it. So anyway, if you'd like to check out those videos, youtube.com/pbcasttv. That is, of course, if YouTube allows me to upload, because they've been having some encoding problems and some other things as well. I think this is our final story for the day. Late last night or early this morning, depending on how you look at it and where you are, Sony revealed a new handheld device in the PlayStation game for phone. The Sony will start selling a new handheld device by the end of the year and will offer PlayStation games on a range of portable devices, including smartphones. The new device that they're talking about is actually codename NGP for Next Generation Portable. It comes packed with a new generation technology with a touchpad on the front and rear, and a first gaming device with a 5-inch LED screens, 2 sets of button controls, motion sensors, cameras on the front and back, and 3G network access. I think the first rumors we saw, this was like 3 days ago for the new PSP. That's what essentially this is going to be, is the new PSP. But that's crazy. I mean, just think of all those tech specs, and the PSP has really not been a great endeavor by PlayStation and Sony. I think PlayStation and Sony makes a ton of money on TVs and consumer electronic devices. They also have Sony Ericsson. They recently bought out Ericsson, not recently, but that was like 5 or 6 years ago. But anyhow, they make a lot of money off this, and I think they are going in the right direction and having maybe like their own development studio for mobile gaming, because we've seen what Rovio has done with Angry Birds. I mean, Rovio makes a ton of money on Angry Birds, and they're not even a Sony or a Microsoft or whatever, or an Infinity Ward, or what's that other, Treyarch, or whoever made the new Black Ops game. Anyhow, I think that's really cool. It's going to be nice to see some of the next generation console games coming to, Carlos mentioning in the chat room, the iPad. Yep, they're saying it should be coming to the Apple App Store, which would include the iPhone and the iPad, as well as Google's Android operating system as well. And it's been detailed that they might be coming out with a new Android phone that has a flip-up touchpad, not only touchpad, but also, what's that thing called, dual joystick or whatever, D-pad, that's what I'm looking for gaming. So that's kind of interesting, and it's kind of cool to see what Sony is doing with their cross-platform endeavors. Well, guys, I thank you for joining us for this episode of PB at Night. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, it's twitter.com/pbcasttv. That is essentially our news feed. I encourage you to go there. You'll learn whenever we go live. You can also learn about whenever we make a new YouTube video, whenever we post different things. But that is youtube.com/pbcasttv. If you don't know how to spell it, that's how you spell it right there. pbcasttv. It's really, easy to spell if you think about it. Also, youtube.com/pbcasttv is where you'll find all of our video content. Pretty much, I would say probably, actually all of our video content now. goes through YouTube. So as you can see here, here's the last PB at Night we did. I'm sorry I'm lagging behind. This is not actually on our website yet, so if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you've probably already seen it, but if you're not, you probably haven't. So I'm really sorry about that. So there'll be 3. Yeah, there's Jacob. Jacob makes so many appearances on our network, it's not even funny. But anyhow, as you can see, I mean, I do reviews like this here, if this will play.
Hello guys, Nick Jones.
So this is like a 6-minute video about me detailing the iPad camera connector kit. You know, there's all different kinds of things. I do, you know, tons of videos on YouTube. I'm hoping to do at least 3 a week, including all of the videos that we do here on PB at Night and also Tech Weekly and Gadget Gurus. So if you'd like to check those shows out, best way to do it is just head over to pbcasttv.com and check out our About page, which I think I got it solved where you can look at the schedule and that'll give you all the times and everything. But I thank you for joining us tonight, and until next time, guys, I'm Nick Jones. You can follow me on Twitter. I know I'm giving out a lot of links. I always do this. Twitter.com/thatnickjones. Just spell it out, and just spell Nick Jones and put a that in front of it. And also, thanks for joining us, and until Monday... No, my bad. Until Saturday, if you're watching this on the night it's posted, or anytime between now and Saturday morning, we will be doing Tech Weekly, which will be episode 35. Me and Jacob Roberts will be there on Saturday morning. So until I see you again, guys, I'm Nick Jones. Peace.